All right, today we are working on some integer vocabulary. We're going to need a pencil and maybe a highlighter or something colorful to mark some important things. All right, so we're talking about integers in real life, positives and negatives in real life, and how we can identify them. Some of them are going to be so obvious, and others we might have to think about a little bit. All we're going to do for this is jot down some of the words. In class, we had some conversations about some of these, but for now, we're just going to jot down some of our notes and chat about maybe just a couple. All right, so we've got a number line up here. So the first thing we're going to do is maybe take our marker. We're going to fill in this number line with just some of our basic numbers. So there's 0, and over to the right, we're going to have our positives. So we might just fill in a few basic things. Then on the other side, we've got our negatives, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and so on. All right, so we've got our negatives versus our positives. Right? Negatives and positives, they're essentially opposites. So what we're going to find today with a lot of our vocab is that they are opposites as well. I'm going to write with a black pen so that it's a little easier to see on this paper. All right, we're going to start with the negatives. First thing we're going to jot down is loss. When we lose something or a team suffers a loss of a game, that's going to be a negative. We're also going to jot down, right, the opposite. Right? If you're really into football, maybe you lose some yards. The opposite to that is gain some yards. And the big positive and negatives that kiddos are talking about in class had to deal with money. So we're going to start and use that down here. So if you go to an ATM machine and you take money out, that is called a withdrawal. A withdrawal, right? We withdraw money to spend it and to pay for things. And to pay for things. So when we take that money out of our account, yes, we have more money in our pocket, but what's happening to our bank account level? It's going to go down. Right, and a big thing here is that we are going to take your money with you. This was something I used in school to help me remember the difference between a withdrawal and a deposit, which we'll talk about in a second. So take money with you. Right, our account money is going to go down. Yes, we have more money in our pocket, but we're about to spend it, and as soon as we take that money out of the ATM, as soon as you make a withdrawal, our account immediately shows the amount goes down. All right, so withdrawal, and along with that, anytime we spend money, that's associated with negative integers because, again, our account goes down. And anytime we pay for stuff, our account is going to go down. The amount of money we have in our pocket goes down. Right, the opposite of these three, the first one related to a bank is deposit. Deposit, deposit. Right, we love deposits because we deposit our profits, maybe if we're a business, and our earnings, our paycheck. We deposit our profits and earnings into our bank account. We like that because it makes our account go up. Right, so another way I like to remember this is deposit, depositive. If we add a little extra something to that, it becomes the word positive, like we're talking about positive integers. Right, so deposit, right? For a bank, or sorry, for a business, we might deposit our profits. We like profits if we're a business, that means we're making money, or our earnings, which is like a paycheck. All right, so we've talked about money. Now we're going to look at some other basic things. So if you're, maybe let's talk about it on this side over here. So if we are climbing up a mountain, we've got to come down and descend the mountain. Right, and then what's the opposite of descend? Ascend. Whoops, spelled that wrong. Ascend. So that means to go down. Ascend means we're going to go up. And then we can put some keywords next to these in case we don't know what these ascend and descend mean. So ascend, climb up. And descend, we can put climb down. Or maybe even jump down, depending on what you've just ascended. All right, so a few more words that we chatted about were going forward. Right, what's the opposite of going forward? Going backward. And then above and below. And then the last one we added in here was fall. Right, like falling down, I don't know, flight of stairs or something. Kind of silly, but you're going down. And then the last two that you'll see here are strategically placed under 0, right? These are our numbers that are not positive, they're not negative, right? They're gonna represent 0 because 0 isn't a positive, it's not a negative, it's smack dab in between the two of them. So we chatted about this one and we asked if anyone had had some disagreements with their friends or if two of their best friends were arguing. And if they didn't want to get in the middle, they remained neutral. So 0 represents neutrality, not positive, not negative. Then a real life example we used was sea level. You might see some things listed as above or below sea level, and that is kind of a litmus test. It's right in the middle. All right, there we go. There is our basic vocabulary for integers, positives, and negatives.